Hello, this is Stephen Childs, Team Fairness, Church of Fairness, the World Fairness Agreement, and the World Fairness Agreement establishes the law of fairness. So this kind of leads to, where did law come from? We have the current law that we're ruled by the law in the USA, and various all the other countries have various laws. So I'm interested in the history of extraterrestrials masquerading as God in the Bible and prior to the Bible, in Sumer, the Sumerians, the Anunnaki they were called. And it just so happens that one of the earliest known legal codes originated in Sumer. They came up with cuneiform. So they had one of the earliest written languages. I think maybe India had a written language earlier, but their religions are different and they don't stress a moral order. Well, that's the last code of law on the list. Well, it's next to last. It's from Edicts of Ashoka, 269 before BCE, 269 to 236 BCE. It's a series of inscriptions by Emperor Ashoka in India promoting moral and social law. Well, the Sumer code that went into the Bible is 2100 BCE. And even though India had a written language, they didn't write any laws as documents. They apparently didn't need them, So their religions are different. They don't stress morality, they stress practice this, and the morality will happen on its own. Just practice what we're practicing. Just meditate with us, and then the morality is from within. So the Code of Hammurabi, 1754 BCE, is Babylonian. Code of law inscribed on a stone stele, famous for its principle, an eye for an eye. So this is where that came from. And later was practiced in the Bible. There is also a Tang Code, 624 CE, comprehensive legal code from the Tang Dynasty in China, blending Confucian and legalist principles. So I was also looking into the Magna Carta. It's set up that law has authority on its own accord, and that the kings don't have all power. So the law has power also. No one's above the law. That came about in the Magna Carta. So the Sumerians are of interest because of the openness with the sky gods, the extraterrestrials. They're drawn with wings, so they're of the air. They had a god of the air, and then later the god of the air became evil in the West. The god of the air is of Satan or whatever. So it's like one person's god is another person's devil. Joseph Campbell said that to the deer, the hunter is the devil. So it's like the devil is just the other team that's threatening to take you over. So is there actually a devil? No, I think there's other teams. And these Anunnaki that claim to be God, that appears in the Gnostic stuff. Since that was the predecessor to the Bible, and you can see the effect of the Anunnaki in the Bible, and then so one of them, the chief leader, Jehovah, I'm the God of all, I created everything, and the Gnostics, they didn't buy it. And so they said he was a laughingstock for claiming he had all power and that he was the only God. Because it also said he's jealous of the other gods, and you cannot worship the other gods. You can't make idols of the other gods. So the World Fairness Agreement and the Law of Fairness, it simplifies the whole thing. The law is don't do others wrong. So it's like the golden rule. And that's the only law. That's the only moral. Don't do other people wrong. Doesn't matter if you're a religion, a government, or a group of people, or an individual. Don't do others wrong. And with these other type of laws, there's disagreements. Look what happened in USA with Trump taking over. He doesn't abide by the written law. He doesn't agree with the written law. I don't either. See, look at these older laws. It was the elites. I don't think there's Anunnaki as aliens here. They're elite people. They're like the oligarchs, the bourgeoisie, the people in power. They write the law. Always that's been the case. Until the law of fairness. It's too simple for the elites to even handle. They can't go that simple. You know why they can't? Because they would lose their power. When you make it very clear you're not to do other people wrong in any way, then their power with their authority of money and threats of death and armies are seen as being unfair to somebody. So we can get rid of the devil. There won't be one, metaphorical devil, because we're all going to be on the same team. There's not going to be the other team that we'll label as evil. The only evil is when you do someone wrong. So if you really look at the basis of these laws and what they're for, this is what they're for. We talk about justice for all. That's don't do anybody wrong. You're not allowed to do others wrong. Then we have justice for all. And if no one's allowed to do you wrong, then you have justice for all. You have justice. They are not allowed to do you wrong. If they do, we have the hotline that we'll set up. We can set up a political party of fairness. I created the Church of Fairness already. And my battle about this has been internal. Carl Jung says if you don't resolve stuff internally, the problem manifests in the world. I think that's true. He also talked about a collective of mind. Well, now we have quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, non-locality. The local universe is not real. They received a Nobel Prize for that statement, for aspect, I forgot, there's three of them. Alan Aspect, John Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger. So this is Einstein's spooky action at a distance. Einstein just couldn't accept that the universe is actually one thing. But it is. See, there's more and more evidence that the fundamental God is that it's us, that everything is it. I'm not God, but God is me and everyone else. We are permanently, eternally within the fundamental God. I don't think it had a brain in the first place. The brain came from evolution. So this is using scientific evidence. The Church of Fairness is the first religion that uses scientific evidence for its basis of belief, along with our personal evidence of metaphysical stuff, paranormal stuff. We can't prove we had a dream, so we don't even go there. That's our personal evidence. So it's those two aspects to demonstrate what is true to us and the power of truth. God is truth. And fairness is the answer. People say God is love and love is the answer. Love causes a lot of trouble. What is love? It's just that you really appreciate something. Somebody that's very evil can have love for people that do what he wants. So it's not the number one. The number one is don't do people wrong. And then love one another. But first of all, don't do them wrong. If you're doing somebody wrong, you don't really love them anyway. Truth and fairness is what we need. The most powerful God that emerged, the emerged God is in a battle. It plays out in the battle of the Titans and the various gods fighting each other. See, those are all within the fundamental God that is everything, that is every single thing that happens, is in that fundamental God and an aspect of that. It's second to none. So, the winner of this thing is going to be good defeating evil. People say you have to have a balance of evil. Well, we can choose to be evil or choose to be good. There's your balance. Don't choose to be evil. Choose to defeat it within yourself. Be the change you want to see in the world. Truth and fairness, with the unification that's going to automatically happen for people joining with truth and fairness because they're tired of being done wrong by religion, by government, by people in the family, by groups of people. You don't want to be done wrong, do you? This is a way to stop it. See, the government does us wrong. The religions do us wrong. Because the law was written by elite people in the government and in the religion that had control. So this is not even written down. The call-in line, the fairness line, has nothing to do with the government other than it will be in line with law. It won't be breaking any law. But it doesn't require any attorneys, any judges, just a random group of people that are interested in stopping unfairness. To be fair, would donate, and they would receive they would be paid something if they choose, or they might choose to donate a service. It doesn't have anything to do with a government or a religion. It's not Church of Fairness. Church of Fairness is within Team Fairness. Church of Fairness complies with the World Fairness Agreement, just like the other religions, when we get this ball rolling. When we get this show on the road, then that's the way it's going to be. Have a great day.